Game number 2, jinx number 2, home team didn't show up in this one either. Mavericks Kings, a 120-106 showing for Dallas. Anthony Davis, 27 points, 9 rebounds. Klay, he exercised the demons, as he said afterwards. 23 points. He was 5 of 7 from 3. DeMar DeRozan finished with 33. SABONIS with 11, 13, and 5. But Dallas looked like they had just blocked out all of the drama, Lou, all of it. So if they can go on, if they can grab this 8 seed, beat Memphis, and move on here, can they make a little noise based on what you saw last night?
They can make some noise and they can be disruptive, but I don't think that quiets all of the negativity down, right? They have to almost get back to the Western Conference Finals for this fan base to feel like they got their worth out of their trade. They're 1 year removed from the NBA Finals. So just being in the play-in, getting to an 8 seed and probably getting bounced in the first round, that's not going to be sustainable to this fan base based on what they feel. They've already shown you how passionate and how they feel about this trade that just went down and how they feel about it, their real emotions. And so winning does cure all, but they got to win a lot to cure this. So just getting in the play-in, winning the play-in game, possibly getting that 8 seed, I don't think that's enough to keep it quiet for long, but I do think this fan base gets behind them if they work their way into the playoffs.
Man, Chandler, the game last night was interesting to watch for a variety of reasons, but the Dallas angle, knowing what they all have to hear over and over every day, what did you think?
Yeah, they looked great last night. And again, I think this is step one of the vision that Nico is talking about, where when they put it all together like this, they can play and then they can win games. And like Lou just said, you don't trade Luka for a play-in an 8 seed possibility. And I think obviously a lot had to do with injuries this year, and with Kyrie Irving not on this team right now is a huge difference. So I think we'll get a bigger picture next year when they are fully healthy. But this is how good they're capable of being even without Kyrie, when they get all their bigs back, when PJ Washington's back last night and he's doing what he does. Klay Thompson showed flashes of excellence with him getting hot there, knocking down 3 or 4 threes in a quarter. And Anthony Davis, I was happy to see Anthony Davis. Even early on, he was struggling. He missed like 5 shots in a row. He wasn't getting the whistle, and he stayed aggressive, and he continued to put his foot on the gas. And 9 of 23, that is fine for him. I would like to see him take 30 shots against Memphis if that's what it takes for them to win. With no Kyrie Irving, they got to put the ball in his hands, and they did that last night without a real true point guard, without a pure point guard. Najee Marshall's playing point guard for this team right now. Then the kid Brandon Williams comes in and hit some shots to them last night. But they don't really have a true point guard even to set these guys up right now. So if you notice, they're taking turns bringing the ball down the floor. They're alternating who does it. But this is the version of Anthony Davis. I don't care if he misses 10 shots in a row. He's got to continue to be aggressive, especially with no Kyrie Irving. And
I know Nico Harrison afterwards was like, that's sort of, there was a vision there. That's kind of what we saw. And the Kyrie thing is always going to be a bummer in this one. They do play the Grizzlies in Memphis. They only beat them once this year. Now, if we see this version of the Dallas Mavericks that we saw last night, and it was sort of vintage Klay as well, who do they get the edge?
He gives them another option. Like, we know what Klay Thompson is capable of. We know that he can put a team on his back and get hot at any given moment and go out there and win a basketball game by himself. We just hadn't seen him do it in such a long time that you're kind of weary about hedging your bets on that.
Fair.
On that, right? So for me, this team runs and goes through Anthony Davis. He's going to be the catalyst of getting there. And like we just talked about, yeah, they won a good game last night, but that was a 9-10 matchup. Now you got the Memphis Grizzlies to possibly get into this last spot. What version of the Dallas Mavericks are we going to get then? And then once we get there, what are they going to look like against OKC? There's so many different layers to this team before they're out of the woods, before we say, okay, all is well, all is cured with the Dallas Mavericks. But this was a great start last night. Can't blame them for that.
It's going to be seasons before we can even start to see
it's
going to be fine. Seasons.
You know what's interesting to me is I love Max Christie, right? And people keep saying, let's not forget about Max Christie as a throw-in in that trade. Played 12 minutes last night. So if we're talking about a big asset that they got for the future, and he's playing 12 minutes and he's part of the reason why you gave up Luka, that just makes the trade to me even look weirder when you look back on it. That obviously Anthony Davis was the main priority, but Max Christie to me should be getting more minutes. He should be kind of in that full rotation, and he wasn't last night, which was kind of interesting to me. But I understand they're deep. Jaden Hardy doesn't play a lot. Spencer Dinwiddie, who's a vet guard who can go get you buckets, He played 2 minutes last night. So this team does have some assets and depth on the bench too, in case there is more injuries or foul trouble, or with Kyrie Irving out till January.
By the way, did either of you guys also think during this course of this game that Dallas must just be relieved to not play at home right now? Like, it probably feels better to be on the road if you're the Mavericks. And I'm not trying to be snarky.
No, I didn't think of that, but you make a great point. It might be a relief for them to be on the road where you can have a us versus everybody mentality and go in there and rally around each other and go win a basketball game and try to go out there and win another one. So this might be a blessing in disguise for them to start this journey on the road opposed to being at home where the fan base is on edge. Every possession, every single thing that's going on, you just feel that bad vibe in the air, like they're waiting for something bad to happen. So this is probably one of the best things that can happen for them to go on to this route and be on the road to start.
I mean, the Grizzlies are 6.5-point favorites. That seems like a lot, but we shall see. We want to talk Kings, though, as well. Second straight year that they lose in the play-in. Immediately, GM Monty McNair and the team part ways. That is quick, by the way. Are you even in your car yet at that point? Sabonis is under contract through 27-28. We love Sabonis.
Yep.
But now we have to start asking some harder questions, Lou. Is that on a contending team, is he truly your one or two?
I genuinely feel like he is. And this team is showing you, like, they have talent. They have a lot of different guys. I think Malik Monk being out of the lineup hurt them big time as well. He's always been their X factor. He's been the guy to give them that punch that they needed. But this is an organization that needs some consistency. And if you don't have it in the front office, if you don't have it on your bench, this team is only going to be good as the car that they're in, right? And so you can have all the talent in the world, but if you have dysfunction, if you don't have that consistency and camaraderie that's needed to push forward, it's only going to get you so far. And Sacramento has been a great example of that with all of the all-star caliber guys that they have. It's just always been a rocky road when it's come to the front office, management, and their coaching situation. It's always turnover in Sacramento. So I do think that Sabonis is a legitimate 1 or 2 option, but they just got to give them something to contend with on a consistent basis.
I don't know what that looks like, Chandler. Like, we say kickstart it, but they added DeRozan, they added Levine. Like, what do they need to do?
Well, on Sabonis' front, the dude's he's led the NBA in rebounding 3 straight years. He averages 14 rebounds. He's efficient. He's a smart player. Is he a 1A type of guy? 2 and 3 and 4 have to be really good, but he is a great guy who's tough, who can do all the little things. You can play through him in the post. You want him on your team. You just have to surround him with the right pieces. And DeMar DeRozan was great ever since the trade, ever since he signed there. Zach LaVine was great. They're both putting up 22, 23 points a game, which is what they've done their whole career. It's more about fit. It's more about style of play. Like Lou said, there's got to be some sort of consistency. You can't just fire the head coach and then fire the GM immediately after and expect everything just to be normal and carry on and go. It's just, there has to be some sort of identity and culture. And it just feels like Sacramento hasn't had that for quite some time. And then obviously the obvious thing is you move De'Aaron Fox, and now they don't have a real point guard on their roster. They got Keanu Ellis playing point guard. They have Carter bringing the ball up sometimes. Malik Monk was doing it before he went down. So they never really had that true PG setup guy ever since the trade, which also hurt them. But they have some decisions to make. And again, I think they have enough. I love guys like Murray. I think he's a great pick and pop guy. He can shoot the ball. He can stretch the floor. I love Trey Lyles. They have a lot of pieces on their team. It's just they haven't really meshed and figured out a way to translate that to wins. And I don't know if Sabonis is going to be there long enough for us to find out.
And I'm wondering, not just Sabonis, but I'm wondering, Zach LaVine, DeMar DeRozan, both those guys, 26, 27 is sort of their year of either free agency or player options. Is one more important to keep over the other in your mind?
That's a great question. I like both of those guys, and I think they're talented enough that they can still push this team forward. I think they still got a lot of great basketball left in them, especially DeMar DeRozan and Zach LaVine. Like, those are 2 very, very high-level, high-caliber guys that you can build a team around at any given moment. They got a lot of questions to answer when it comes to the Sacramento Kings and who's top priority. Do we start over? Do we rebuild this? Do we move around some picks? Do we go young? Like, there's a lot of different things. And we just said it. They need consistency more than anything. So when they start making decisions, I'm glad that they if the GM wasn't a good fit, I'm glad that they went on and did this. Let's start now. Let's start our off season now and try to find a common ground where we can build towards the future. So is one guy more important than the other? I think they got way bigger issues than that. Then it started with the front office and it goes from there.
You think Christie keeps the job?
That'll be interesting to see. He had him motivated for a while, and they were rolling, and then they hit the injury bug, and it was off the rails again. So it'll be interesting to see what they do with Doug.
Dear Lord. All right, we got to take a quick break. We're going to do future of the playoff picks. I'm a little nervous to attempt any of that. When we come back, the jinx.
The running back, run it up, the running back.